let's go the other way with this, too. Would you find a chick hotter or stupider if she jumped up on the bar and started dancing?
Well, I never found bar chicks to be that attractive to begin with.
Right.
But I don't care for a girl who's making a spectacle of herself. Never did.
So she would lose points.
Yeah, I would definitely not go for that. Not at all.
You think that a 20-year-old would be like, oh, look at her. She's wild.
Nah. Doesn't do it for me. Never did. Even as a youngster, that would have never attracted me.
The only thing I could think of with that is, man, if I load her up full of drinks, I could hit that.
See, I never went down that road.
No, I'm talking now.
Nah, even now, I just like, I never cared for a girl who was inebriated or had too much to drink. I never cared for that ever.
Yeah, I'm all in for that.
See, I never liked that. I don't like a girl who gets sloppy stupid.
Line her up. I'm in.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story.
All right.
This was back in 94. Okay. About 94, 95.
All right.
It's about 20 years ago.
Sure.
So my younger sister, who you met,
20 years, somebody likes to drink.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
This gal that I was with, very, very hot girl, very, very attractive. So my sister and I and her, we went out for the evening. We went down to the flats when the flats was still happening.
Sure.
And we were down there. I think we went to Shooters or something like that. And we were running around a couple of the bars and whatever. And so my sister and my then girlfriend were, because I was driving, and of course I'm the responsible one.
Right.
I'm not drinking. And so both of them are tying one on pretty good.
Right.
So my girlfriend's sister worked out at a bar in Lakewood.
Right.
She was a bartender out there.
Okay.
So my girlfriend says, well, let's go out and visit my sister. She's tending bar out at this bar in Lakewood, so let's go out there. So we drove out, and her sister was, tending bar at this neighborhood bar. And, of course, my sister and my girlfriend are getting a little, out of control and drinking Long Island iced teas and whatever.
Right.
So my sister, being the girl that you're talking about, being the young girl who's all liquored up, she decides she wants to get up on a table and dance.
Okay.
And so they had those big round bar tables, the ones that need a high stool.
Yeah, this is not going to go well.
Yeah. So, of course, she climbs up on one, and she's dancing on top of one, and she got on too far to the edge, and it tilted over, and she fell off of it because it fell over,
Right.
But fortunately, she didn't hurt herself.
Right.
But, she knocked it over in the bar and the whole thing. And, of course, by this time, I'm just like totally put out with it because I don't like that scene. I don't like it. And especially if it's my sister.
Right.
So by the time we get, it's time to leave, place is closing up, we get in the car. So we're halfway down, I think, like 117th Street or something.
Right. Okay.
She's like, pull over. So I pull over, and she's like, yeah, on the curb. She's got the door open, and she's like throwing up on the curb of the road.
I gotta have your sister over for one of my parties.
So I drive home, and both her and my girlfriend are just like totally wasted in the car.
Right.
And I just got out of the car and I left them in there. I was just so put out. I was just like, I've had enough of this. I'm not babysitting two drunks.
Right. You know who's exactly like that? I could tell from my lone meeting of this person. Officer Jim. Is that his name? Jim?
Yeah, Jim. Mm-hmm.
Officer Jim could not have been more annoyed the night I met your sister.
Yeah. So
he was so fucking pissed.
Yeah. So I just don't have a lot of tolerance for that. It's just like, I'm so done.
Right.
And they both eventually found their way up, to the apartment.
Right.
They got out of the car and they made their way up to the apartment. But I was just like, fuck this. I'm not babysitting these two.
Right.
And she'll tell you, I can't believe my brother. He drove us home and then he just left us in the car.
Well, what are you supposed to do? Carry him
Yeah,
in?
well, yeah, you're supposed to like pick him up and get him upstairs. Yeah, it's like, screw you. Done with this. Done with this.
I think my days of that are way over. You know, the last time I had to do that was, did you ever meet Matt's girlfriend, Kelly?
No.
Before his current wife?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know where Georgetta was. She was out of here. And so we had like a football party here at the house. And she decided that she was going to outdrink me.
Okay.
And she brought with her a bottle of Crown Royal.
Oh, boy. It's like gasoline.
And we were just drinking shot after shot after shot after shot. Me and this girl, Kelly. I don't know what her thing was, but she got all fucked up. She just was like, I'll show you. You just talk, but blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. And I looked at Matt. And I was like, all right, I'm going. And we drank about 15 shots, I guess. And I mean, she was maybe 110 pounds. And before we knew it, she was like passed out and throwing up at the same time.
Right.
So I literally, you know, and I'm bombed and everybody, and, you know, Matt was pretty drunk too. You know, I literally had to sober up in a hurry. I put her in a full Nelson and just held her over the toilet for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, hours. So that when she would throw up in the toilet.
Right.
And then I can't tell the rest because it's fucking back to the marriage shit.
Right.
It's a good story too.
Sure.
It has really very little to do with her, but I'll tell you off the air. But
yeah.
I can't tell the rest of it. But it turned into a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, you can imagine what kind of a problem. But,
yeah.
But I can't say that one on the air.
Yeah, well, again, I just don't have a lot of tolerance for that. Never did. Even as a guy in my 20s, I just didn't. It's like I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I always rolled with it.
Nah, I never did. But I wasn't a drinker either.
Yeah, well, that's it. You were not a throwdown party.
No.
I got to that point, so I dealt with that point, you know? That's kind of how I always looked at it.
You know, I didn't even have my first drink until I was like 26.
Yeah. Dude, you never had a drink on the... You know, it wasn't until you got to Chicago that I ever remember you having a drink.
Yeah, well, you know, prior to that, it was just very, very, very seldom, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you were like, I don't know if it was with your brother-in-law or if it was with Lawyer Fred or who it was with, but you started saying that you were going out after work for a drink.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to be real social when we had our office and you know, there was a couple of local places down the road and that was the whole thing. Everybody wanted to go out after work all the time. It's just like, you know, let's go down to so and such a place, you know. It's like, okay, let's go.
But I remember the first time you said that to me. You know, I can't. I was trying to set something up for the next day, and you're like, I can't because we're going out for drinks after work. And I was like, you?
Yeah.
Because I honestly did not believe you were going to drink anything.
Yeah, well, it was just because, you know, everybody in the office was like, you know, we ought to go do this, we ought to go to that. I didn't want to be the lone holdout, so I was just like, yeah, okay, all right, let's go. Right.
And now you fucking drink 14 gallons of wine a week.
Nah, not like that at all.
No, that's still me. Well, not as much lately.
Yeah.
Drinking much of anything these days.
Sure.